Hello, my friends. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I am so thrilled about today's video because we are going to make two cards. Yes, we have got two really fun birthday cards. And what you're going to love about this one is it's kind of its own one-sheet wonder. We're going to take one little piece of 6x6 designer series paper and create two fabulous birthday cards featuring the Zoo Crew stamp set. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go create.
We can all use some birthday cards to have on hand, can't we? And these two are just so fun, so bright. I have got so many tips and tricks to go along with today's video. I've got diagrams to help you. And if you're a fan of flashcards, we're going to be using flashcards on this project as well. By the way, if you're not familiar with that, just look up there in the corner. I'll put a direct link. All right, so let's go over the supplies we need to create our Zany Zoo birthday cards. We're going to start with a piece of Berry Burst cardstock, 8.5 by 11. I've got two pieces of Tahitian Tide. This is a 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. We're going to need some basic white cardstock as well. Let's see, my first piece here is a 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. I have a 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And then these two pieces are the same size, 2 1/2 by 3 1/4. You'll need two of those. The fun of this card is using designer series paper. I'm going to be featuring the Glorious Gingham designer series paper. This one is in Lemon Lime Twist. Very fun, bright. Look how pretty that looks with the Berry Burst. I'm going to put the 8.5 inches of my cardstock up here at the top and bring it over to 4 1/4. Now guys, you've got a cutting blade and you have a scoring blade. Let's make sure we're not cutting. We want to score at 4 1/4 inch. Now we're going to flip it around and we're going to put the 11 inches at the top. We'll cut that down at 5 1/2 inches. So now we're good to cut. We're going to do one more thing to just one piece of the cardstock. We want to do a little snip here on the side. We're going to put the 8.5 up there and just cut off a 1/2 inch. That will be card number 1. Now for card number 2, I'm actually going to do a bonus scoring line. And I'm going to do that at 1 1/2 inches. So that's going to create just kind of a fun accordion fold. All right, guys, now it's time to talk about cutting that designer series paper, and I have a diagram to make it easy. I know you guys love the diagrams. It makes cutting so much simpler. And so for this one, we're actually going to follow the colored arrows. So we're going to start with the purple arrow, and it says we want to cut it down to 1/4 by 6 inches. So there's 6 inches. We're just going to cut 1/4 inch off. All right, I'm going to move this for just 1 second because you see here we want to cut this little piece in half to 3 inches. So that's a simple enough cut. 3 inches. That is our first piece. Now that we've done our purple arrow, our next one is the yellow arrow. And we're going to cut 1/2 inch by 6. So we're going to go 1/2 inch by 6. And let's see, what are we supposed to do? We're going to cut it to 5 1/2 inches. So again, simple enough. We're just going to cut a little tiny scrap. We do not need that, but we're going to hold on to that one there. All right, now we're going to go to the red arrow. So you can see we're going to rotate our cardstock around now. So there's my 5 1/4. We need to rotate it. And our first cut, it says we're going to go 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. There's that one. The green arrow says we're going to cut this into two pieces, 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So 1 1/4, and of course it's already 5 1/4, and we get the two pieces that we need. And friends, that's how easy it is to cut that designer series paper to create both cards. While I've got you here, I do want you guys to know that this free download with the diagram, the measurements, the supply list, photos, a link back to this video, even a place that you can order. Guys, this is all available at SimplySimpleStamping.com for free, or you can look down in the YouTube description and you'll see a link to my post where you can download this. I would love for you to have that as my gift, just saying thank you for joining me today. All right, now with that, it's time to put a card together. All right, let's work on card number 1. Now, we're going to be featuring Zany Zoo. I'm telling you, this stamp set just brings a smile to my face. I love it. Now, this stamp set does have a matching set of dies if you would like to buy those. But for today's cards, we're just going to feature the stamp set. So I'm going to focus my first card here on my knitting llama. She is adorable. I will bring in a Memento black ink pad, and we are going to stamp our sweet little knitting llama. We want to put that over here on the left side. And because we're featuring a birthday card, we're going to stamp at an angle, happy birthday to you. By the way, I love to stamp at an angle because then I don't have to worry if I got it straight. Let me set that off to the side, and we'll go ahead and work here on the inside of the card. And we're going to stamp something great to celebrate you. And now I'm going to close this up for a sec. I'm going to bring in a little berry burst. And let's really make this card celebrate with just a few little confetti and sparkles. Hey, while I've got that out, I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to bring in my card base. This is the one where we cut off that 1/2 inch. We're going to do some stamping around the edges. And this is super simple to do. I am just going to take that Berry Burst ink pad and just randomly stamp all along the edges. And I know this might seem kind of funny, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp a little bit here in the corners. The reason I'm doing that is because we're going to be adhering down our piece of Tahitian tide, and I just kind of want to make sure that I have everything kind of filled in. So yeah, I think I can get just a little bit more here, but I want to make sure that all looks good and stamped. I hate to make you stamp more than you have to, so we're just going to kind of focus on the edges and a little bit there at the top and the bottom. Adding some adhesive here to my Tahitian tide, I'm just going to adhere that down. Like I said, it's kind of at an angle there. It's a little fun. Let's take those little strips. Remember these little strips? I think I'm going to use that more tinier of the gingham. Let's add those here at the top and the bottom, just letting just a little bit of the Tahitian tide kind of shine through. Just like that. All right, I'm going to actually go ahead and kind of finish putting my card together. I'm going to put that larger piece of my gingham paper here on the inside. This is what makes this card look so bright and fun. And then we're going to take that little 1/2 inch. Remember, this is the yellow arrow, I believe. We'll add that to the side. And the last thing is this piece of basic white that we stamped on. So we have a wonderful place to leave our message. Now it is time to bring in our stamped image, and we're going to do some coloring. Stampin' Blends are some of my most favorite way to color. I have got, these are all combos, by the way. I've got the Tahitian Tide, the Parakeet Party, Berry Burst, and then this is the Naturals Tones Light, okay? In fact, I've got it here. Let's go ahead and start with that. And we are going to color in her sweet little face. And then let's get just the inside of the ears. We'll get her arms and legs. And now let's color, let's see. I think next I'm going to go with my Berry Burst. I'm going to start with the dark. And I'm just going to kind of trace out this chair. There's really no right or wrong here, but what we do when we come in now with the light is it's going to, when the two blends touch each other, it gives us just really great detail. But hey, if you do not have the Stampin' Blends, you can also come in with your Stampin' Right markers. Those are awesome too. I'm now going to use the dark, and that's what she's going to be knitting. That would be the dark Parakeet Party. Again, I just really want this to be bold and fun. I'm going to use the fine tip here and just trace out my ball of yarn. Okay, last thing I need to do, and I'm sorry, I did not tell you this one. I've got the light basic black, and we're just going to get these little hooves. I told you Tahitian Tide. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I was talking about there. We're not using that. We're going to use the light Parakeet Party. And watch what I'm going to do to my happy birthday. I'm just scribbling right over it. And you know, that's what's great about the Stampin' Blends is that they blend so nicely together, so you really don't see lines. We're going to add this now to our card. Stampin' Dimensionals are what will make this amazing. All right, I'm going to share a trick. Whenever you have a piece of cardstock that's skiwampus and you want to make your next piece skiwampus, make this one go one direction and this one you want to go straight. So if you'll just kind of eyeball it with the top of your card, just like so, you're going to be pretty much straight on, and it kind of gives it just a really fun look. Now we had a bow, and we are going to add that with a mini glue dot. So I'm just going to press the center of that bow onto the mini glue dot, and I'm just going to kind of fill in right down there. I'm telling you, having just that pop of the black and white gingham along with this lemon lime twist gingham, I mean, fun, fun. All right, there's card one, but remember, we're 2 for 1 today, so now let's create our second card. All right, here's what we have left. So let's see what we're going to create here. We've got the 2 pieces that were 1 1/4. I'm going to add 1 to the first little panel. This one will go here on the inside. You can use your favorite adhesive. I really like to use the Stampin' Seal. When you adhere this next one down, go ahead and kind of close up the card. It's going to help you see how to get that one centered. All right, we're going to take that 18 inches of ribbon, and what I want to do is I want to tie that in a bow up here at the top. You remember, we love tips around here. I have got a tip that you guys are going to love. This is one of my best tips for tying ribbon. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. You could use just about anything, but I'm going to pick up a mini glue dot, and I'm going to put it up here at the top of my card, right there in the center. Can you see? Now watch what happens when we go to tie our bow up here at the top. I'm going to start, just your single fold over. You guys know what I mean by that. And when I go and pull this, I'm going to pull top to bottom. Do you see where that glue dot is? Boom. Look at that. I do not have to worry. I don't have to putz with that ribbon. It's down. I'm good to go. It makes it so much easier. All right, let's tie our bow. I said 18 inches on that ribbon. I think I'm going to recommend you go maybe 19 or 20. That was a little short. I'll go ahead and trim that down, but the things we learn. All right, so there is our fun bow. It's adhered down. No worries about this moving around. Let's do some stamping. I'm going to bring in that Memento Black. We're going to stamp once again, something great to celebrate you. And now the alligator, which is so adorable, riding his bicycle. We're going to stamp him right here. And then, of course, we have a perfect spot to say happy birthday to you, once again at an angle. With that berry burst, let's add our celebration confetti again. And that will adhere on the inside of our card. Let's do a little more coloring. Now we can bring in the Tahitian tide. We're going to be using all the same colors we did a little while ago. I'll use the light Tahitian tide. Let's color in the bicycle. And with that natural color, I had it out and I thought it worked perfect for the basket. I'm going to use that light basic black to get the tires. And then I'm just going to use the light berry burst to get the flowers here in the basket. Remember how we did our happy birthday a little while ago? I'm going to use the light Tahitian tide. We're going to do that again. And now I'm going to show you how to put this card together. So yes, we have this ribbon here. Our Tahitian tide, we just want to center it up just here on this this panel, all right, this little accordion fold. That's the only place we want adhesive. So we can kind of see, we're just going to put adhesive here and here, just on either side of that ribbon. I'll center it up from side to side. I'm going to bring in those Stampin' Dimensionals. We can add that to the front of our card. It's just so bright, so fun. Am I right? Do you like that? Friends, we have just created 2 cards using just one piece of 6x6 designer series paper. We made them a little fun. Look at all that brightness going on there. Friends, listen, birthday cards, we always need to have them on hand. And I want you to think about this. Even if you do not have Zany Zoo, There's so many different images that will fit perfect in these two little pieces. What was this, a 2.5 by 3.25? Look at what you have. Look at your designer series paper. Think outside that creative box and use this layout to create yourself some fantastic cards.
I so appreciate you stopping by today. Hey, if you enjoyed the video there on YouTube, you can click a thumbs up button. I would love if you would do that for me. And if you haven't subscribed, oh my goodness, be a subscriber. Click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and then YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. And hey, if you've got crafty friends, why not share the channel with them as well? Thank you again for being here. Go make something amazing this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.